Welcome to Roadrunner. I'm here with my friend Jake. We're going to talk a little XFL. Did you get to watch any of the games?
Oh yeah. So I watched all of the Dragons and Defenders, so Seattle and DC, and then most of the Wildcats and Roughnecks. But the Sunday games, I didn't watch all of the Sunday games. Specifically, the only one I really missed most of was probably going to be the Battlehawks, and then the Renegades. So Dallas, is that St. Louis then? STL? Yeah, St. Louis.
Yeah, St. Louis
And
Battlehawks.
so,
Yeah,
so that's the game I missed most out of. And I did set up fantasy leagues for them all. That's one of the
nice.
easiest. That's one of the easiest ways of a keeping your interest going during any game, and then also to kind of get to know the players
Yeah,
and just so you can see who's actually doing what throughout the week. So
no, that's
it was
absolutely
fun.
awesome. I was able to watch part of most of the games, not the first game, but the LA Wildcats, Roughnecks, a little bit of that. I watched all the Vipers, New York Guardians game, and most of the St. Louis Battlehawks and Dallas Renegades. And honestly, my the LA Wildcats and Roughnecks is probably the best game, in my opinion.
I think so too. Yeah. I was gonna say, and I did like the first game, the Dragons and Defenders, but I think with I like the Wildcats one, and I'm kind of rooting for them a little bit more now,
Yeah,
just after watching that. As far as like, all right, they have way more potential than what they showed. It's early. Either they're gonna suck totally, or I think they're gonna start doing pretty good. So
yeah, it's them and the Tampa Bay Vipers. They both seem like they're underperforming, but you kind of see something there. So
yeah.
I definitely think the Vipers is. I'm looking to probably bet them this next week, but they play Seattle Dragons in week 2. But they showed a stat like late in the third quarter. It was like 408 yards for Vipers and 215 yards for the New York Guardians, and they're losing 20-0, and you're like, or no, I'm sorry, 20-3 at the time. You're like, oh yeah,
hmm
that's how it is. Actually picked Tampa Bay Vipers to win, and I actually broke that game down and went. I studied it for over 2 hours, pulled up info and clips of all the players and running backs and quarterbacks, and I'm like, and I just thought it was hilarious how wrong I was just going into it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, hey, take the -4.5 on Tampa Bay Vapors, and just goes
Yep.
to show you don't know who's going to show up, and that's why these guys are at this level. You can see the difference between the NFL and this game.
Yeah. Yeah. When you look at this, you're kind of thinking, okay, it's not going to be the NFL level, but it's going to be
No,
above the college level. And when I started watching the very first game, I was like, man, I wonder how well they do against like a really good college team. That's what I was thinking. I was like, man, that'd just be awesome to see. And there's a plenty of people in the stadiums there.
that
And,
was
and
awesome. That was the first thing I looked at, and I'm like, oh my
right.
gosh, there's a lot of people there. Way better attendance than the AAF.
Yeah, and so yeah, that was fun, and you look at it, and I would say from we all have high definition cameras and everything like that, so it looks good, but is it as polished as the NFL? Not even close.
No,
Is it as polished as some higher up uh, college teams? No,
no,
but it's pretty close, and it's definitely better than some of the lower ranked ones that you might watch sometimes on ESPN3 and the like.
the
But
arenas and the Canadian football you're referring to, or what?
yeah, it just yeah, it was enjoyable, and I don't know what do you think about when they allowed for you to listen in to the coaches,
Yeah, I love it.
to the refs,
See, that's
and
that's what makes it better, in my opinion. And then they even have them the refs talking to the box upstairs and saying like, hey, so the call. He's like, what's the call in the field? The call in the field is uh, uh, turnover after or catch, turnover, and then touchdown. And then the guy was put on the spot for two. He has the headache of dealing with the this was Tampa Bay Vipers versus New York Guardians, where he takes a couple steps and then gets popped and the ball comes out. Then the guards pick it up and take it back for a touchdown. I agree with them at all of it, but actually I think it was the first call that they did that I disagree with them on. I don't think it was a touchdown, but that's for. But still, overall, it's still cool and at that level. And I didn't know these teams get a bonus when they win. I think they get $100,000 when they win the game.
Yeah, yeah. How about that? I didn't know
What?
till when it was almost over and they announced it. I was like, oh
Yeah.
wow, that's cool. So it's everybody on I think their active roster that
Yeah.
that splits that money. I was like, oh man, that's something to shoot for. At least 2 or 3 grand each player.
I like
Uh,
that a lot, and it
isn't that
rewards
fun?
it rewards them week to week. Gives them a reason
Hmm.
to come out there and play some football. I the only thing I that's frustrating seeing is the incomplete passes and how the teams aren't quite ready for this hurry up. A lot of teams suffered on this clock management, and it is pretty frustrating. But it's actually hilarious for me to see. I mean, I'd be on there too. I
Yeah,
for sure would be messing up as a
yeah,
coach and as a player. So I give it to him, but it is cool seeing, and hopefully by week 3 we start getting that pinched off. And
yeah. It's definitely different as far as how the clock runs down a little bit, and you did see confusion on the field here and there. One thing I loved was there wasn't a booth review until the fourth quarter of the first game
yeah,
with
that's
like
cool.
7 minutes left. And I was just like, yes, it's like the first one. And it didn't take them too long to do. But,
No,
the fact that there's no, coaches that can throw a flag and challenge, everything's automatically reviewed
yeah,
by the booths. And so I love that for game flow and hearing the refs, some of the refs flew down a flag and they go over and you get to hear them talking and you're like, oh, okay, yeah, I guess he was out of the box. And it was just, in the NFL you think that, okay, these refs are like have some significant language that they use, but no, they're just average day joes and they're there doing a quick conference over what happened. It's like, oh yeah, I guess it wasn't a foul, and he just picks up the flag and it's like, great, this is pretty cool.
yeah. It actually really is. I mean, we're all human, so. But yeah, it's crazy to see like how unpolished it is, and we're gonna see it grow in front of our eyes, and that's pretty neat. And with the attendance, and there was a couple people that bought gear. It looked like, but it looked like the first few customers got free like T-shirts with some gear logos and stuff too, which is all good. All of it's relevant.
Yeah, it's all branding, right? And
Mm-hmm.
and so to spread it out and reward the people who first show up, which is nice.
Yeah.
So hopefully, week 2, 3, and 4, you'll see some decent attendance going, especially for the teams that start doing really well, because that's how like, all right, fan base, people hopping on the bandwagon.
Yes.
So
I I think they have it right at starting with the 8 teams. I don't know how many more. Do you see that they have like a team 9? If you go on the actual website, they have a team 9, and it's like a it's these are people who if any team gets hurt, these guys fill those positions.
oh really? Yeah,
Yeah,
I heard and read something about that, but I'm I'm naive to any of that.
yeah, and I don't even know if it's. I mean, they're not on this roster or anything, so it's literally just I guess a practice squad that just is practicing, waiting for someone to probably get hurt, and then they'll come out. I mean, they will. It's obviously going to happen.
Hmm.
But I like that idea, and that's cool because there's someone out there that's really going to be a hidden jewel. It's like it's layers upon layers, but you need that in this kind of a system. So I don't think they could get the talent pool to go past these 8 teams though. Maybe in a 2 team expansion, maybe in the third year if it lasts that long. What's your opinion on that, or do you have one?
Yeah, I currently right now I just don't know to be honest is the final thing, but I kind of doubt it because you have to think anybody from college who didn't make it in the NFL, they already moved on, and so what you see there, there's a lot of ex NFL players in there, but then there's a lot of people who kept the dream alive and have been actively working for the last 3 or 4 years, and the vast majority of people don't have that type of drive, especially when there was nothing else for them. And if the XFL uh, has a little bit more staying power, which hopefully it does. If it does have that staying power, then people who are not drafted in the NFL will see that as an alternative route to go to, and so they're going to still practice. They're going to still, keep in shape and do what they need to do to try to get on those teams. So yeah, I think for a number of individuals, I think it could be a great way to go. But is there that current pipeline of players coming in? There probably isn't a vast amount, but each and every year, a number of players wash out of the NFL really early, and this is just a great backup for them.
Yeah, even if like they can get a start on their maybe soon to be career and it all didn't work out, at least gives them that. Because when you're young and you have all that energy, you still want to go tear people up and you can't because
Yeah, yeah,
So it gives you that
right.
outlet. But was there anyone you're most surprised to see on a name or anything? A player?
No, I can't say off the top of my head. I know there was a few individuals on defense that I saw, and I think it was for the DC Defenders. I know one of the individuals who did an interception and scored the touchdown. I mean, I think that was his second interception of the game, and he just I can't remember the player's name for anything, but definitely seemed like he had some pretty good talent and good at reading the ball and following the eyes of the quarterback and everything. And I was like, wow, that's somebody who like potentially can be moving on up. I mean, if I was an NFL scout, I would be watching these games. There's no reason why I would not be. So it could be interesting.
Yeah, I saw Novak kicking, and I'm like, what? He was in my fantasy, and
Yeah,
you can tell he's like chip. He kicked for the Eagles, and he's just like chipping it like nothing. I was like,
yeah,
man, that's so cool. It was honestly probably the the highlight of the XFL for me over the week. I'm not gonna lie. I was like, well,
yeah,
that's
good deal.
cool.
Yeah,
Just look cool seeing him. He's old, but he's still like so good compared to these people,
right.
and he actually is really useful. So,
Yeah, he has. You got people like that. Immense talent, but he just kind of aged out. You know,
oh yeah,
and so, but with the XFL, I don't know how. There are plenty of times there where if it was the NFL, they would have kicked a field goal from that current distance, but they didn't. They went for it. They went for it for multiple reasons because the ball could have been spotted back at the 35 and they're already on the 40. You know how those rules work. So that plays into a bit. But there was one individual, I think it was the DC Defenders. It may have been the Sea Dragons, but I think it was the Defenders who kicked
Sea
uh,
Dragons. I like it.
the yeah, Sea Dragons, right? Seattle.
Yep, I like
Um,
it.
but they he kicked a record field goal of I think 52 yards, which is his career long. It might have been 54 yards. Before that, his
Hmm,
career long was a 50-yarder that he did in either college or the NFL. I forget. I think he was in the NFL for a week or two, but then got dropped right away.
that's
And
cool.
and I had him on my fantasy team, and I was thinking, oh yeah, he's going to kick that 50-something yarder. That's going to be 5 points for me. And no, it's only 3 points. Like no matter where they kick from, you only get 3 points. And that's what happens when you don't read the rules, and you're thinking, oh, yeah, yeah.
I
So I won't,
feel like, especially at that level, it should be more.
yeah,
But
and I won't be having any more kickers on my. He did well. I think I got set at least 6 points from him, if not eight. Um, but I think just six.
um,
So I probably won't be having any kickers in my fantasy league going forward.
oh, great. Well, I mean, there's only so much you can do about that. I know when you make like a private one, it can be different.
Hmm.
Like when you're making a private league for your friends, you can change all that, which we do.
Yeah,
You get more
which is
rewarded.
which is a great time to tell people to subscribe. Maybe we get enough people going here. Subscribe and follow, right? We get enough people going. We can do a fantasy league.
Oh yeah,
Everybody out there can school me and take my money.
yeah,
I'm pretty easy.
yeah. I'm actually pretty easy too. It's just take a shot in the dark and go against the grain. You'll probably, or just take the chalk and you'll probably beat me.
Yeah,
But
yeah. Well, you go for the win, right? When you go for the win, you got
yeah,
to
I
take the
do.
gamble,
Yeah,
and
not first or
so
last.
yeah, yeah. And I think I only had a total of I think 76 on the line. for all the games,
No, ain't
and I
bad.
made and I made back 54 or something like that. So I did pretty good considering, and it was just most of it was luck. But they have the 1.5 MVP players, and I just happened to pick the right MVP player
Cool.
on every single league, and that was more luck than anything. So I don't expect that to continue going forward. But now I have I was thinking the whole time is just going to be running backs. So I got a little lucky with some of the QBs, but definitely I think the QBs score on these. So more so than what the NFL might be.
Yeah, probably. If Did you see that the St. Louis Battlehawks were a 9.5 favorite and they won straight up by 6 points? They won 15-9. So,
No,
and they even tweeted about it. They're like 9.5, and then they said, and then it's like St. Louis Battlehawks win. Like that was their tweet. So they were kind of making fun of that. So
good good for them. Yeah, well
yeah,
I know the over and under on the first game, the Dragons and the Defenders, it was I think 52
yeah. I think
or
50. I
50
think they're
51
all
and a
at
half.
53.
Yeah,
Could be
so
wrong, but
like the Lions actually ended up coming in really good on that game anyways.
yeah.
Just like how Vegas could come out with lines that would work that great, I have no idea. It's just mind-boggling. I want to hire those people to
Well,
do what I don't know, but
we all wish that. That's it. We've been trying to figure out this formula for years, and I myself have been, and I fall victim to it too many times. It's like if this is that, then this is that. You know what I mean? It's never straight
yeah.
up. It's never one system. It's many systems in order. But yeah, well, thanks for joining me today with this XFL talk. Well, we'd love to have you back for even week 2 if you're willing. But
Yeah, we'll see what schedule looks like. Hopefully I can watch the games again. It was very enjoying. So, and
yeah, I liked it a lot, and I'll definitely be checking in on it. And well, I'll probably watch 2 of the games and check in on the rest. So, well, thanks for hanging out, Jake. You have a good night.
yep, you too. Take care, Jeff.
Yep. See ya.